typically with Bill Romanowski, the easiest way to tell that this guy is saying something stupid is to check to see if his mouth is moving. Well, in the latest edition of Bill Romanowski's Greatest Racist Hits, rather than say it, this guy, he decides to get on Twitter and thumb out the tweet that you see pictured on the screen. That he basically tells Cam Newton that it is not about him, his attitude won't last in the NFL, and then ends it off with a boy blast, which is always good there. And then, you know, if you're going to say something ridiculous, don't try to delete it like people don't take screenshots. So he deletes the tweet and then issues a lame apology. And then, now granted, they're not what I would consider a bastion of objective in sports news, but I digress. He goes on TMZ Sports and proceeds to say that he's not racist and that because he likes good times. I kid you not, he actually said that. You know, it just blows me away. You know, this is the problem, and he's, of course, Bill Romanowski is not in sports media. He sells supplements. But I knew that this would happen the moment the Super Bowl ended. You know, this is one of, like I said, this is the reason why we have the Big G Sports Network. We tell it like it is, no BS, no agendas, just the way it happened. And, of course, with all the, I don't even want to call it controversy, but the brouhaha about Cam Newton, and I don't want to say his antics, just him doing what he does. You know, the way he plays the game. You know, and I'm not going to get into all of that. Had they lost, and they did, you knew that the sports media and then the people who just don't like Cam Newton would use this as an opportunity to pile on him. And of course, they're using the press conference as an excuse, which I would caution anyone to really go back and look at the press conference, because the way it's being, I'm going to use the word, it's spun, is not really how it happened, you know. And like I said, even before the game, rather, is what I'm going to say, I like both quarterbacks. I do. I like Peyton Manning. I like Cam Newton. But, you know, and it's being talked about how they're using that classless word again. And all of these things are talking to this grown man like he's a child. And they're talking about how Peyton Manning has always handled himself with class. And for the most part, he has. That's not really what I'm disputing. However, let us not forget that Super Bowl 44, who walked off the field without shaking hands. I'm just saying, if we're going to be objective, sports media, let's be objective. You know, you got to call it both ways. And I don't remember anyone taking him to task after that. As a matter of fact, it was spun as how, you know, he likes the passion he has. He was just so upset because he wanted to win so badly. But, you know, you don't apply the same rules to Mr. Newton. And that's where this sports channel takes umbrage to that. Because call it equally, but as we know with the sports media, they don't. If they don't like a particular athlete, then it doesn't matter what they do, then it's going to be spun to in a negative sense in order to promote to their agenda or whatever it is that they want to say, or the narrative that they want to portray. And that's not right. We don't like it. We don't play that here at the Big G Sports Network. And you know, that there are other sports entities that are more guilty of this than others. And I'm not going to call any names, but you know who they are. And it's going to continue, but that's why we're here. We're fair and balanced, and we mean it. There's no BS here. And getting back to that, because Cam Newton also came out today and said, I thought the quote was kind of funny. Show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. I'm going to say this because as I've grown up, we have, you go through this when you're small, you watch athletes and you want to be like them and all of those things. Particularly if you play sports or anything to that effect, whether it's you want to, back in my day, you want to be like Mike and all this. As you grow older, you see them as not just athletes, but people. And that maybe while their on the field or on the court exploits may be great, they may fall short in human areas. And I think that's an area we need to look at, because it's always popular to say that these athletes are role models. And I tend to fall into the Charles Barkley 1993 camp. Just because someone can dunk a basketball, run a 4.4, or hit 35 home runs a year does not mean that they should raise your children. These are grown men and grown women, because I personally wouldn't want someone like Hope Solo or Ronda Rousey raising my children if I had a daughter. Yes, I went there. But for somehow, because these guys are on television and they make X hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, somehow they are now charged with the responsibility to people they don't even know, which is ridiculous. Because I will say this, Cam Newton, Peyton Manning, Kobe Bryant, Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, none of them raise my children. None of them, they don't change not one diaper. They have not fed them one time. When they're sick, they're not there. I am. My wife is there. So for me, as a fan in the seats, to somehow say that they're responsible for quote unquote showing the way to the children, in a sense, is a little irresponsible. And that takes the onus off you as parents, guardians, and the people who are right there within arm's length that can really influence these children. So I'm sorry I had to get that out, because I know that's been put out there with some of these ridiculous letter writing campaigns and other things of that nature. But I got a little off kilter. But I'm just I'm anxious to see how many other statements such as Bill Romanowski's will come out, because I can tell you this, I have been to other websites and watched videos and threads, and the things that they are saying about Cam Newton goes beyond football. I mean, these people are saying some rather vile things, which I suspect these were things that they wanted to say all along, but now with the Panthers losing the Super Bowl, and how people feel that he didn't quote unquote act the right way, it's really giving them in their minds latitude to really just go in all the way on Cam Newton. And the internet really, good, bad, or indifferent, provides people, and some unnecessarily, the platform to say things that they would never say in their normal day-to-day life. But it'll be interesting to see how the other sports media outlets will spin this, because that's the terminology that's just what it is. About Bill Romanowski and Cam Newton, how they will somehow justify this in some way. But at the end of the day, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And don't think that this is not the last out-of-pocket comment when it relates to Cam Newton that you're going to see. But whenever it does happen about any other athlete, we'll be here to cover it here on the Big G Sports Network. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I am sorry for the length of this slight rant, but I really wanted to get that out there, Be sure to stay tuned for more videos, more sports-related topics that we cover. We'll be back real soon. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Peace.